It is the College Football Kickoff Show's TikTok 10-minute drill right here on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and of course TikTok. Brandon Rutherman here, about to dive into the Week 6 Saturday Undercard picks. Without further ado, let's get the drill started right now. Army over Alabama Birmingham. You know them better as UAB, and you ain't it, Trent Dilfer. Sorry. Ohio over Ball State. Ohio should be bouncing back nicely as conference play is in full swing in the Mid-American Conference. Kansas State over Baylor. Can Kansas State finally turn it around? I think they will. And besides, I've had a heck of a time of it trying to pick games involving the Baylor Bears, but we'll see how that plays out. Fordham and Lafayette. I got Lafayette in this one. Fordham beat a winless Holy Cross team, while Fordham themselves was a winless team. And Fordham will have no such luck against Lafayette this week. UTSA over Temple. Villanova over New Hampshire. I got Western Michigan. Yes, Western Michigan. The team that I picked to lose to Rhode Island last week, and Western Michigan hung a 47-14 beat down on Rhode Island. I'm going to kick myself in the teeth for that one. Not going to make the same mistake twice. They're playing UMass. Western Michigan should run away with that one. Abilene Christian over North Alabama. South Dakota over Murray State. Tennessee State over Eastern Illinois. Buffalo and Eastern Michigan should be a tight one in the MAC, but I got Buffalo eking one out over Eastern Michigan. Same could also be said for Miami of Ohio on the road at Northern Illinois. I'm going to go with the Redhawks. Stony Brook over Albany. Central Michigan over Akron. No explanation needed there. How about this? Appalachian State over Oregon State. Winless Oregon State. Speaking of winless, Samford. A couple years ago were in the FCS playoffs. Now they're winless. Then they will remain so. Mercer will beat them. Texas State over Arkansas State. That one could go either way. Towson over Elon, because I hate the word Elon. Oklahoma over Kent, because I hate the idea of Kent having a non-conference game against a Power 5 school. They shouldn't even be playing these games right now. But I know we're not done with them. You hear me, SEC? Yep, you know what I'm talking about. That's why you now have 9 games of conference play. If you get rid of the cupcakes, you could have more. Come on, get with the freaking program. Montana State over Northern Arizona. With all apologies to Shakira Kwan, TJF Carter, the fictitious All-American mainstay from Northern Arizona, for those of you who remember the Key and Peele sketches. South Dakota State over Youngstown State. Part of me really wished I would have dove in to see where everybody was ranked in the FCS, but I decided against it this week. One thing I will not do is decide against Old Dominion. They're playing Coastal Carolina at home. ODU is 3-1. I'm thinking 4-1, and a couple steps closer to possibly a bowl bid. Southern Illinois over Indiana State. Troy over South Alabama. Kind of an off year for the Jaguars. Not so much with the Trojans. UNLV over Wyoming. Yes, Dan Mullen will have another win for his Rebels. North Dakota State and Illinois State. That's an easy one. North Dakota State on the road. Incarnate Word over Stephen F. Austin. What, do you think I was going to channel my inner Stone Cold? We don't do that here. That should never, ever be touched. If you want to hear me do it, don't give me a hell yeah. After all, I'm not allowing comments on my TikTok anymore. Rice over FAU. Rice has got a bounce-back week, I think. My favorite game of the undercard selections, it really shouldn't be an undercard selection, but the question is, who's the home team and who's the road team? Because each have the same, team colors. I think back to when Mississippi State and Texas A&M played in the Independence Bowl. Everything seemed to be good, and then the unexpected snowfall came. It was one of the greatest scenes I had ever witnessed. It made it very difficult to recognize who was who. It's not often you get a snowstorm in New Orleans, or Shreveport, actually, was where they had it. This time around, A&M ranked number 6 in the country right now, as we are now under 4 minutes to go in the drill. Going to take A&M at home over Mississippi State. My boys from Montana, the Grizzlies, taking on the Idaho State Bengals. Montana in an easy one. The same could be said for Memphis over Tulsa. And finally, Fresno State over Nevada. That concludes the undercard picks for your Week 6 Saturday. A quick reminder coming up on Saturday, we will be at Cameron one more time before we go on what I guess could now be best described as my homecoming bye week, as we will not be doing a show from Cameron next week because of the fact that it's homecoming. I'll be down at Cameron one more time, this time representing the team colors of the Air Force Academy. And the funny thing about it is, with Air Force, they're playing Navy this week. And I am not making a pick on the game. But among those that I will be picking, the two biggest ones on the board, Vanderbilt and Alabama, and Miami and Florida State. So you might want to tune in Saturday morning for both the Facebook show at 9 o'clock, and shortly thereafter we come back on here at TikTok for the TikTok 10-minute drill and running off everything of those games that get the Laner treatment this weekend, including a specialty game involving two teams that I have never picked before. There's a very good backstory to this one. In the meantime, from all of me to all of you, this is the TikTok 10-minute drill on the College Football Kickoff Show. Have yourselves a great one, and we'll talk to you on Saturday.